Welcome to Switch. My name is Jeremy McCarter, and I want to start off with a crowd survey. So raise your hand if you have ever had someone steal something from you, okay? Raise your hand right now. Someone has stolen something from you. Look around. If you see others raising their hand, if you are raising your hand, you know that it stinks when somebody steals something from you. And I felt it when I got my bike stolen when I was in junior high. Now, it wasn't just my bike got stolen. My bike got stolen while I was riding it. How does that happen? Let me put on my helmet and I'll show you. In junior high, I rode my bike everywhere. I rode it to the park, I rode it to school, I rode it to my friend's house, and on this particular day, I was riding home from work. And that's when I heard, "Get him!" I turned around to see who they were getting, and that's when I saw Hell's Angels on Huffies coming across the parking lot towards me. Apparently, I was him. So I took it to the next level. Faster, better, stronger, harder. They still caught me. And that's when the biggest guy got off his bike and came over to my bike and grabbed my handlebars. He said, "Give me your bike." And I said, "But I'm riding it." And he got real intense. He leaned in, he said, "Give me your bike or I'll kill you." At this point, I began to evaluate the situation. Let's see, there are 15 big people and 1 little people. Oh man, I'm the only little kid here. "Sir, here's your new bike." And much like a Western where they ride off with the horse, the bad guys disappeared into the sunset with my bicycle. I don't need friends. I want the wrong friends. I want to be a bad friend. Said no one ever. We all want friends. We all need friends. We want to be a good friend. In fact, God created us to be in friendships. When he created the first man, do you know what he said? "It's not good for man to be alone." To which all the single guys said, What? We are built to be in friendships. And whether you have a lot of friends or just a few friends, here's the one thing we got to know. Our friends will never leave us the same. They will either make us better or they'll make us worse. If I were your friend, here's what you would need to know. I can make you or I can break you. Said no friend ever. Now, to make sure that we have the right person, we need you to identify your 5 closest friends. And we're gonna give you 60 seconds to write it down. Now, there are some parameters. No parents, no imaginary friends, no prison pen pals, no apps to talk back to you, and no teachers, even though you may sit by them in lunch. Write down your 5 closest friends in 60 seconds, starting now. I thought instead of just asking you to tell us who your 5 friends are, I would ask my friend Vince Parker who his 5 friends are and why did he choose those 5 friends.
Okay, Jeremy. Well, my top 5 friends are Jeremy, Will, Landon, another Jeremy, and Nathan. And the reason I chose those 5 friends is simply because of this. Man, they're people who have the same values and same beliefs that I have. People who care about me and I care about them. Man, it's truly important that when you're picking your friends, man, you pick people that you want to surround yourselves with that can make a difference in your life. And that's why I chose my 5 friends.
Friends will never leave us the same. Now, this is not a new concept. One of the wisest people to ever live was a guy named Solomon, and he put it this way: walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. Which is interesting. So what this is saying is, if you walk with the wise, you become wise. So if you hang out with people who are better than you, smarter than you, more spiritual than you, you will rise to their level and you will become like them. That's why for some of you here in Switch, you're in a good place. There's not a lot of drama. There's not a lot of problems. There's not a lot of regrets. And it's because you have surrounded yourself with the right people, people who are making you better. But on the other side of the fence, if we associate with fools, we get in trouble. Now, how many of us know that we tend to get in trouble with other people? We don't just go out by ourselves thinking, hey, I'm gonna get in trouble. Either everybody's doing it and we have this fear of missing out, so we sort of jump into the situation, or maybe we get the dare. Oh, I double dog dare you, and we don't want to look like a chump, and so we go after it, and we just sort of do the thing we know we're not supposed to do. Or sometimes we get that new friend. We start to walk like they walk. We start to take on the attitudes they have. We start to talk like they talk. I remember when I was in junior high, my friends started saying the word pimp, and I didn't have a clue what the word meant. But I felt pretty good when my friends would say, hey, Jeremy, what's up, you pimp? And so I decided to return the favor one time to my dad. So I remember being in church, in lobby, my dad was talking to the preacher, and I walked up and said, what's up, Dad, you big pimp? And I thought he was gonna be like, oh, what's up, man? What's up, dog? Snap, pop, pop, boom. But instead, I got the death look. Why? When you associate with fools, you get in trouble. Now, I know that for some of you, you're going to disagree with me. And you're thinking that I'm starting to sound like your parents. And just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean that you will. And maybe you won't. But it's like playing with fire. Now, let's just see how smart some of you are. By raising your hands, how many of you think that fire burns paper? If you believe that's true, go ahead and raise your hand. We are going to test the theory. Right here, we have a piece of paper. Now, let's see if fire truly burns paper. And it did not. So for those of you who raised your hand, you're wrong. Oh, you want me to go slower? Okay, here we go. Let's go a little bit slower. Once again, paper is not burnt. What? Go even slower? Okay, let me go a little bit slower because some of you feel like you're complete morons. Still, nothing. Oh, slow down. Just hold it there? Okay, let's try that. Let's see what happens. If I just hold it over. And here's the thing. You can run with your friends, and sometimes you can fly through and there can be no issues whatsoever. Because you're just sort of going through really, really quick. But it's those times when you stop and you settle in, you say, okay, I'm going to invest in this friendship. When you do it with the wrong person or the wrong friends, that is when you get burned. I think this is why Paul wrote this advice to his friends when he said, don't be misled. In other words, hey, don't be stupid. Hey, don't kid yourself. Hey, don't try to justify this. Don't try to act like this isn't true for you. He said, bad company corrupts good character. Now, you may be a good student. You may be a good person. You may be a good son or daughter, but bad company corrupts good character. Our friends will never leave us the same. They'll make us better or they'll make us worse. And whether we recognize it or not, our friends are taking us somewhere. So if you have the right friends, they're going to take you to the right place. The wrong friends will take you to the wrong place. And so my question is the 5 people we had you write down earlier, where are they taking you? Now, I'm not asking, do they care about you? Are they funny? Do you like being around them? That's not the question. My question is if you look at the path that you and your friends are on, if we were to follow that path, where would you end up? Where are your friends taking you? Now, if you're still not sure, there's a couple ways to sort of help us figure it out. Number 1, look at where they're going. Look at how they treat their mom. Look at how they treat their dad. Look at how they treat other people in school. Look at how they treat their brother or sister. And then ask the question, is that where I want to go? Not only can you look, you can listen. Listen to what they say. Are they lying? Are they creating drama? Are they gossiping? Are they putting people down? Once again, do you want to be that kind of person? Where are your friends taking you? And not only that, where are you taking your friends? I wish somebody would have introduced me to this concept of where are your friends taking you, because I ended up living it firsthand. It was my freshman year in college, and for my birthday, a few guys decided they were gonna take me out for a little birthday, we'll call it adventure. And I remember the first stop was this place where girls were dressed in skimpy clothes and they're serving food, flirting with us, and it was uncomfortable, yeah, but I was a big boy, we could handle it. But as the night went on, each place we went got gradually worse and worse. Until eventually we ended up in this place where basically people were being paid to take their clothes off and everybody was drinking, and I realized I wasn't in the right place. I wish I could tell you that I had the time of my life, but I never felt worse. You see, I felt stupid. I felt duped. I felt alone. I felt horrible. I felt this regret that I'd never felt at any point in my life and haven't felt since. And there was this part of me that said, hey, just get out of this place. Take off running. But I was with my friends, and I had to save face. So I stayed there, so just distraught that I just felt physically sick. And I just remember looking at the floor. Look at the floor, not just because I didn't want any more images in my mind, but I didn't want anybody to see my face. I didn't want them to know who I was. And I remember looking at the floor and thinking to myself, how did I get here? I knew the answer. And when I looked up and I saw my friends having the time of their life, the picture sort of confirmed it. My friends had taken me somewhere. Unfortunately, it was somewhere I didn't want to go. I wonder for you, how many of you, your friends, have taken you somewhere you don't want to go? So maybe the question isn't where are your friends taking you? Maybe the question is, where do you want to go? If one day you want to go to college and maybe even get a scholarship, well then are you surrounding yourself with people who are pushing themselves academically? If one day you want to have lots of money and be able to buy all the nice things that you see out there, are you surrounding yourself with people who work hard and are smart with their money? If one day you want to have a great marriage, are you surrounding yourself with people who honor and respect the opposite sex and who are protecting their purity, not only what they do, but in what they look at? If one day you want to be a person of character, a person that people look up to and say, I hope I can, or my kid can, or my grandkid can be a leader like them with integrity. Well, then the question is are you hanging out with those kinds of people? People who are making the right choices, who are doing the right things, who are serving other people, even when nobody is looking. So the question is, where do you want to end up? Our friends will never leave us the same. They'll make us better or worse. They can make us or they can break us. And our friends are the ones who get to choose. We just get to choose our friends. Here's the deal. If you don't care where you end up in life, you can have any friends you want. Just don't be surprised if you end up in the wrong place walking home because someone stole your life while you're living it. Said no friend ever.